So, how can we succeed in a fast pace? So at the early stage of ATOMY, that this was what I thought as well. If I am going to join ATOMY, I will want to succeed. And if I am to succeed, I want to succeed fast. So how can we succeed fast? Or how can we excel our speed of success? Well, it's hard to provide a simple answer. So what does fast mean? It has something to do with time. So how are we to manage the time, control time, utilize time? This notion should be set beforehand. So how fast would be regarded fast? Someone would say 10 years of ATOMY, while earning 2 million Korean won for 10 years. There would be someone who thinks that this is not slow at all. But there might be people who thinks that in 2 months, this is not worth it and give up. So fast, slow, this is a relative term. So this should be agreed in the room. Fast or slow, how are we to measure this? Is measured by tool of the time. However, if we are to manage time, we have to manage life by managing time. So when we were at schools, what did we have in our tables? We had this round table, timetables, what time we will wake up, when we will take a shower, when we will eat, when we will study. We had this round timetable that we used. But were you able to manage your time well? Those who manage time well won't have needed the timeline, but those can't manage time well needed those time management tables, because we don't exactly know what time means. So let me ask you, what is time? As for me, about 15 years ago, when I first started this ATOMY business, I gave a thought on what time is and how can we measure this and reorganize this and utilize it in the best way. So I called this the time engineering and gave lectures about it. And that lecture, well, when I did that lecture, this Master Lim Byeong-gu was with me. I think I don't have to give the lecture, but I think it would be better to see the lecture that I gave at that time. So let's play the video. So what is time? What is time? Time is money. So if time passes, do you have money in your pocket? Some people just keep on getting interested after time passes. Time is what it is. Well, Aristotle said that it's something that you think that you can grasp, but it cannot be clearly described through words. So it's poetry. You guys know that you're not at Aristotle's level. So I think I know something, I just can't explain it. So Aristotle said that now we're in Newton's time. We go through the past, present, and flow into the future. That's the definition of Newton. Do you think it's been clear? Yeah, it from the past flows to the present and to the future. And now we have the modern physics father, Einstein. He said that past, present, the value of the present flows into the future and not sequel. It's jumbled. So the sun that we're looking at from the earth, from the sun that we're looking at on earth, and the sun that we're looking at on earth is, well, when we see it from earth, is seen after 8 minutes in the past. So the sun that we're looking at now is 8 minutes in the future when we're looking at from the earth. So it starts and there is a light that comes from the past. So 4 minutes from the past, and if it comes to the earth, it's from 4 minutes before future. So the past, present, future, it's jumbled all together, and also there are times that of past is before the future, so it's all mixed up. So time, it starts from the past to the present and the future. It's not a sequel thing, but it's a jumble. So I define it like this: there is no such thing as time. So that's why when you ask me what is time, I couldn't answer, because it doesn't exist. Now, if we are perceiving time, what is time that we perceive? We don't perceive, but we perceive events. What does this mean? When we talk about history, we talk about the prehistory, which is before the history existed. So when we talk about pre-existence of the history, when we say the history of the Korean Peninsula is 5,000 years old, but that's because of the dam that were artifacts were found 5,000 years ago. So we say we have 5,000 years of history, so that the artifact is something that we recognize. How about if an artifact was found 5,500 years ago? Then there will be a trace of the event. So we will have 500 years more. So if there's a trace on an event, there is time. And if there's no event, there's no time. So when we talk about our the race trace of the kings, if there was no changes in the past, then there is no past as well.
So I could define time as events. The same goes for the terms of spirit or soul. Since we have the beginning and the end, we could define it as time, but if it doesn't have any beginning and the end, we could go into the eternal time. So when we manage the time, actually we cannot manage the time because there's nothing about time. So here, what we need to manage is the time, events, sorry. So from now on, let's talk about that. We are planning the time. Here, actually, the thing that we need to plan is the events. What time, whom I meet, at which, and from where we will move. So all of these is planning the event itself. In order to manage the time properly, we need to manage the events well. And then that event could be bad or good. When there are only bad events, we could be a bad person. And when there are only good events, we could be a good person in my life. So, planning is all about what kind of event will be chosen by me. There is a book about this time planning. It says that there are some urgent events, but not important. There is an event that is not important and not emergent, and there is an event that is important but not emergent. So he categorize the event into 4 different categories. And all of us are really good at managing the important and emergent things. For example, when your child leg is broken, it is really urgent and it is really important. So we are really good at managing this kind of event. But we are failing to manage the event which is not important but urgent. So normally we know that we manage a lot of events, but we couldn't remember it because it was not that much important. And this part is the mostly frequent, the most frequent happening one. For example, watching a soap opera, watching series. Actually, this is not that much important and not that much urgent, but we put a lot of time in managing these kind of events. It is not important, it is not urgent. Normally, these events are not important, so we cannot really remember what happened a year ago. And here, the event that is not urgent but important, we need to manage this event well and properly. These are, for example, writing down our life scenario. Of course, when we skip it today, it is not a matter, but it is still really important. And for example, we loving other people, loving others. It is also really important, but it is not that much urgent. So we tend to postpone this kind of events. When you are not in a good relationship with your family members, you don't really try to make a consensus with your family members. So the relationship got worse and worse. So these events are not that much urgent, but still really important. And we need to really good at managing this kind of events. Let's imagine that we become rich, we become successful with ATOMY. These are really important. These are all really important, but we sometimes don't think that it is really urgent. So we postpone and we delay this kind of event. So we only meet a few number of people every day. Don't think that when you are at a center, you are working. Even though you are in a center, it does not mean that you are working hard. Even though you're in a center, sometimes you don't sell a product, you don't introduce this business to other people. And normally you only talk negative in the centers and you only do some hassles and you spend a whole day. But you didn't do any important task at the center. So what is important is to understand what is the most important thing, and you need to put it at the most important priority, and you need to set the priority of these events. We need to live, love, and contribute, and these all are really important. Contribution, actually is really important. You don't need to underestimate it. You don't need to postpone managing the events. Although it is not that much urgent, but still it is really important. So that's why we need to start working on that. First of all, we need to choose what kind of event will be happening. You don't need to miss every single important task, and you need to put the priority of all of the tasks, and then all of the not important things will be naturally settled. Please remember this. There are 2 different concepts. First of all, you need to put the priority on the important events. Although it is not that much urgent, you need to put the most priority onto these important things. In order to be successful, you need to list down today. You need to have a list of 50 people, and then you need to always hold the list of 250 people, and at least to 20 people you need to call, and at least 5 people you need to meet, and you need to sell a product every day. And these are the very important tasks, and you need to cherish this kind of important events. Although it doesn't affect your daily living, if you don't sell a product, you need to stick to it, and you need to do all the best to settle that important task. You need to understand that that's the most important thing in your life. Because if you start to delay this kind of event, it will be snowballed. So managing time is about selecting well. And we need to put the priority. First of all, you need to prioritize the important event first. And then secondly, time could be compressed. So you could process your time.
이거를 타임
We call this
엔지니어링.
time engineering.
이 타임 엔지니어링 시간 공학인데 자, 우리 인생이 시간이라는 걸로 구성이 되어 있기 때문에
Our life is comprised of the time, so we need to really be really good at engineering our time. If we are good at it, we could manage our life and time, and we might be really good at controlling the time that we have. Please understand that if we don't have the great concept of the time and if we fail to managing our life will go failure. Do you like your life or not? Are you satisfied with it or not? Sometimes you are confused and you want to know how to control your life, but you don't know how to do that because you don't understand the concept of the life and concept of managing the time. Everyone got lost. So once you perceive the concept of the time, you could successfully control the time and manage your life. You could control the key of your life. So I mean that selecting time is really important. I also mentioned that time is all about events. So we could choose the important event at first. We could prioritize the important events. But there are not important things, for example, but if you like if you keep astray to that kind of hassles and not important things, you will miss out the most important thing. So you need to be really good at selecting the important things and you need to stick to the important things. In order to do that, you need to write down the list. And then you need to compress your time.
250명의 명단을 작성을 해가지고
For example, you need to write down the list of 250 people and you need to let them know first. You need to let them know that I'm doing this kind of business, I am doing shampoo business, toothpaste business, and you need to promote that you are doing this business to other people. This is the very first concept and step. And let's say that you are doing this for 250 people, someone is doing this for 3 months.
그런데 어떤 사람은 이거를
But others
30일 만에
are doing this only within 30 days.
매일 10명씩
Every day, for 10 people, they could call and they could finish it within 30 days, and someone could do it within 10 days. If they called to 25 people a day, they could finish it within 10 days. You could say that, I am selling this kind of product and the price is really affordable, but the quality is really good. And as such, you could call to 250 people every day. So you could manage your time by doing this. Someone could do it for 90 days, but someone could compress this time into 30 days, and someone could do it within 10 days. So
시간이 압축이 됐죠.
we could say the time is compressed.
압축시켰어요?
But actually, what we compress is the events.
사건을 압축시켜버리니까 뭐가 압축?
When we condense the time, we also compress the time at the same time. So I will also say that time equals events. So let's compress this event once again.
예를 들면 물도 끓여가지고 압력을 만들어내면 어때요? 거기서 작용을 할 수가 있다는 거예요. 그런데 압축하지 않고 가만히
If you don't compress the time and leave them there, you would be loosened down. And then you could just do it whatever you want, whenever you want. If you could do it only on a rainy days, on a sunny days. If you do it just by yourself and what you want, nothing might happen. So it will just the time will just go. Nothing will happen.
일이라는 것은 그냥
So in order to make something happen, we need to compress the event first. In order to make something happen, first of all, you need to compress the time and the event first. So selecting is all about this. You need to set the priorities and you need to
중요한 일을 선택하는 걸 먼저 하고 그다음에 그거를
select the important things, and then you need to compress the time and event, and then it will follow. It will make the result.
해소하고 하는. 그러니까 우리는
In the concept of the time, there is also the concept of transcendence. We could go to the past, we could go to the future, but we can sometimes transcend the time because we could recall the past and we could also expect the future. So we are not really binded by the time. We could sometimes transcend the time. if we think about the future, we can move to the future as much as possible. But if you don't think about the future, nothing will happen. If you don't draw the picture of your future in 2 years or 3 years, nothing will happen. You need to dream yourself in 2 to 3 years, and you need to vividly dream yourself in the future. But a lot of you not doing this. You're just living in the present. You're just like stuck in your present, and you don't really expect and predict your future. Although you feel really bad today, you need to paint a brighter picture for your future, and you need to transcend the time, and you need to move to the future. This is all about transcending the time. So I could call it time pass over. And next concept is about duplication. We need to duplicate the time. Let me talk about time duplication. If you compress the time, and the event could be compressed also like this, and your partner could also do that. Your partner could also duplicate it. When you want your partner to duplicate it, the original copy should be right, should be correct. Some of you might think that I want my partner to just like me, and in that way you could be successful. But if you think that, oh, I don't want my partner to do like me, in that case you won't be successful, because in order to duplicate, the original copy should be all right. We have the ability to transcend the time. I think this is a really amazing ability, but we are not trying to use this ability. And we tend to be stuck in the present, and nothing will happen when you stick to this kind of concept. In order to make some change, you need to move to the future, and you need to draw yourself a future. And so you need to draw the paint of yourself in 10 years or 15 years, and you need to live the future. In my brain, in my mind, I draw the future of my company. I already did it. I already drew the picture of my company of the future. I would like to make the sales over 10 billion, 100 billion, and 1 trillion. What happened? How come I could dominate the global market, and how could I dominate and lead the global distribution industry? And from now on, the world will be dominated by non-office businesses, and I am drawing the picture of this kind of future. These are the future, but I try to vividly draw the picture of the future in my mind by transcending the time, because we got the ability. And by using that ability, we could live the eternal life, and we could imagine the future. Everyone, once again, we've got this ability to transcend the time, but most of you are just living the present. You're just stuck in the present today. You're just living today. Although you are irritated by yourself today, but next year you will be better. And in 2 years, you will be much better. And you will be overwhelmed by joys. In 5 and 10 years, not only you, but also all of the people around you will be filled with joys. You need to draw the picture of yourself vividly. Once again, we need to duplicate the time by exerting our efforts to transcend the time and ability, and then we need to select the important event in my life. For example, being successful, being healthy, living longer, contributing to others. This kind of important event need to be chosen. But there are a lot of hassles and unimportant things in your mind. For example, angers, sorrows, and agonies. And if your minds are occupied this kind of unnecessary things, your energies will be consumed up. But you shouldn't do that. Sometimes this kind of bad feelings go longer. If you are angry about it, and if you are mad at it, stop doing that and just follow the direction of the balanced life. Please relocate your energy into more important things. Don't worry about it, because we all are designed to be successful by Creator God. All of us will be very successful and better off. someone say that, how come you could design all the things in your mind? And some people also say that, I think you know everything. But still, I have a lot of things that I don't know. But I try to spend my energy into the important things, and I put my priority in making all of the ATOMY members wealthy and better off. And I try to live a contributable life. And these are the important things in my life, because we got the ability to be successful, and that ability will make all of us successful in the future. We need to utilize this time, and you need to utilize this concept in your future. I believe that you will be successful in the future, and your success must follow. It was the lecture done in 2009. It means that he delivered this kind of lecture at the beginning of ATOMY. I think it is really amazing. And he also summarized the concept of time, and I think it's really new. Lim Byeong-gu Crown Master, at the beginning of your business, you said you took this lecture directly, and was it really helpful for you and for your business? Yes, it was. Back then, when I took this lecture for the first time, I got shocked. Because Chairman Park, among the lectures conducted by Chairman Park, that lecture was the most shocking one, because I could summarize my business and I could reorganize my business. And that was the best lecture I got from him. When I started this business at first, there were a lot of agonies and difficulties, and I got lost in my business. And I met ATOMY, and I thought that I met the new tool that lead me to the success. And at very first, I just managed to settle the problems in front of me day by day. But after taking this lecture, I started to put priority in the important things. And I also realized that time equals the events, and we need to start from the important events. And I understood that the concept of the time is about managing the events. And I set my direction into this direction, and I got a lot of ideas and from this lecture. Before I took this lecture, the concept of time was only boring, and time was the thing that made me difficult. But when I play with my friends, I feel like the time flies fast. But he said that time is the event, and we could also pioneer the future by managing the event. I started to think how I could manage my time, and it was really brilliant time, and I think I could also feel really touched by this lecture. And from now on, from that moment, I also put the concept of the time into my presentation and lectures.
And also among the chairman's lecture, in order for someone to really live rich, how are they to earn the money? A lot of people, in order to be rich, strive along all time of their life. But still, there are not many rich people. So in order to become rich, they have to hold on to one thing and instantly earn much of money in such a short time, or after a certain time has passed, we will need to have work that will be automated and will give you a certain amount of money punctually. So at the ATOMY, with the third method, you can become rich, was what he said. So what I thought was, I want to become financially free. That's the mindset that I had, and now I achieved it all. So for that to happen, the turning point, the first lecture that changed my mindset was this lecture, especially making our time compact. When we first started the business, we were finding people who will buy product through Lim Byeong-gu, or the ones the people that we met, there were only little people. In order to talk maybe 10 to 15 minutes, I would, put thought for more than 2 or 3 days. But the people who will buy the product, not just the ones that will do the business with me, but the people who will share the words that I met a company that will change my life. And with the absolute product, Hamoim, I am dealing with this product as a tool. I'm going to succeed. Chairman said a bluff, as I'll be surprised. And I realized that this is the kind of passion that I should put into. And from then on, I preached this to a lot of people. I said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And that's how you make your abstract your time. So shorten the 2 months to 1 month and to 10 days. As I got to know this principle, regardless of what others say, I'm going to walk my path. But for a balanced life with the confidence that you are going to succeed and we are going to be rich, you have to put your best. Even though we say this, but I don't think people saw the richness in my face. But now, even though I do not say anything, people see the rich in my face. So as I am abstracting my time and pursue the business, for the starters of the business, the Hamoim, the cosmetic, you have the aim to make a customer worth of 50 years. So before a century passes, you will fall as a customer. If you should not try to make 50 customers, but you have to think of spreading what you do to 250 people in just a short amount of time. And you should really preach that. You should preach and also maybe obtain 50 people who thinks that the products are really good, and then you will hugely succeed. So, if you receive calls like this, what I think it was ATOMY or something that you sell. I think the person next to me was talking about it, and I think you deals these products, right? So it just resonated and called you up. I think that's how you can gain success here in ATOMY. And what also the chairman said was in the starting days, when he started the lecture, one of the top secrets to success is visit customers and invite organizations. So when we first started the business, a lot of people, you should visit them and talk about the products and make customers. And make events. And when we're inviting, making invitations, I think in the early days in Gwangju, Wudong area, I just rented a bus for the Success Academy. And to all those customers that I was with, I told them that since there's a bus, let's go to Success Academy together. And there were less than 10 people, I think, that joined me for the first success and the second success, third success. I kept on renting the bus, and eventually the bus was full of people. And at the next Success Academy, I had to rent 2 buses. Just as the chairman has mentioned, you should do timely important thing first. With this commission fees, think of the things what we can do and prioritize what's important. And in order for you to go to the Royal Leaders Club, I don't think it took much. I registered as the business owner, and then to become a Royal Master, it didn't take long. So this my thought upending experience was this time lecture. And after this lecture, I followed the chairman for the first time and told him how touched I was. Telling him, well, looking at all those who went to Chairman Park after the lecture and tell him, compliment his lecture, I thought that they were trying their best to impress him. But now I know that it was not about impressing Chairman Park. And that's what, since I was impressed, that's why I am putting the time lecture in my lecture as well. Well, I think because of this prestigious lecture, prestigious leader was born. So what do you think of this time management then? I think it was last week there was a panel meeting and they turned on this lecture. Well, I saw this for the first time, so I got goosebumps. So I asked him why you didn't do this, and the chairman said that it is very difficult to give this kind of lecture that he is just playing the video. So when there was only 100 to 200 people in the Dogoncheon, and at my time, I talked about the management goals, about the speed, and about the ATOMY hub, and the motto. I was very touched by the motto itself. Cherish the soul. Cherish the spirit. And how are we to make them succeed? Manage the spirit. And with the confidence that you'll win, you'll have to humbly serve others. It's so touching, but at the last lecture, when I listened to the lecture about balanced life, it also touched my heart again. So I think it would seem very desperate if we make a goal accordingly. And I was able to see the born of a great CEO. At the first session, he talked about the 8 steps to success. Every step was worth of 2 hours of speech, but he gave everything in 50 minutes. And afterwards, he just left. And at the end, he said, and now I am bankrupt. As I failed 5 times in multi-level marketing, what I thought was a shame was that they keep on raising the price eventually. And I thought that if the company normalizes, I thought ATOMY will raise their product price as well and also make, registration fee. That's what I thought. Didn't you think so as well? But when I heard that he is bankrupt, I instantly felt that he's not going to receive any registration fee. Over the world, 65 years of history, there's no networking company that does not have a registration fee. But if it's the delinquent borrower that's eradicating this, then it makes sense. Why don't we shiver altogether? You have to shiver in order to succeed. And he's keeping that for 15 years. Why don't we send the chairman a big hand? So that's when I submitted my resignation letter and joined ATOMY. And listening to the lecture, it gave me goosebumps. 9 years ago, he talked about the future, 10 billion, 100 billion, 1 trillion will grow big. And time management is all about managing events. I told my partners to look at success speech for 50 times. If I have known earlier, then I would have made them watch this film, the time management lecture, for more than 100 times. So, all of you, should say that this is a hard lecture for you to listen to. But since you have listened to it, you will succeed faster.